Reflection to planning. As the unit plan we created comes to an end, it is remarkable to see how it has come together as a whole. We were able to learn a great amount from creating this unit plan about ourselves as future teachers and the time and effort that goes into the planning and the creation of an entire unit plan. We faced some challenges with planning along the road. These included choosing our lesson plans and creating the website. This is because we had not written many content-heavy lesson plans before, and not many of us were fluent in making websites before this project, though every obstacle that we encountered taught us various influential skills. Our unit plan was created for a general 20-student diverse public school environment. We based our lesson plans off of the PA Common Core standards and the National Council for Social Studies standards. The lesson plans all focused on a general education classroom that consisted of unlimited amount of money and resources. If we were to adapt our unit plan to other school environments, we would have incorporated even more differentiation, modifications, and accommodations to ensure that this unit plan was applicable to a special education classroom as well. If we were in a different school environment where we didn't have all the resources we assumed we would have, we could take out all the video activities and replace them with books or more craft type activities. Sometimes certain districts are not as wealthy as others and can't afford a smartboard, so we would just stick to books and incorporate more games and hands-on creative activities to make the lesson more fun and enjoyable for the students. Our lessons were created to meet the needs of a variety of different learners. They include an assortment of activities and procedures for different learners, including auditory, musical, visual, spatial, and kinesthetic learners. Throughout each of our lessons, each student's learning styles will be met during instruction. The lessons actively engage students while incorporating heterogeneous activities, centers, technology, and an array of activities. We strongly consider differentiation for learners in each of our lesson plans so that each student would be getting the full benefit of instruction that was provided by the teacher. Within each lesson, we assess students formatively. Some of these formative assessments include students completing exit tickets, videos, and the teacher completing observations. These formative assessments provide a quick way for the teacher to observe if the students are demonstrating their understanding of the lesson. At the conclusion of the unit, we created a summative assessment for the students. To prepare students for the summative assessments, we created a Quizlet and a vocabulary study guide. Since this summative assessment is covering an entire unit, it is important to provide students with a review. One of the summative assessments that we include was a paper to pencil test, which includes a cumulative amount of questions from each lesson in the unit plan. The questions on this test will include multiple choice, true or false, matching, and fill in the blank. Another summative assessment that we created is a project that assigns students to groups. In these groups, students are assigned a different civilization and they are expected to make trifolds to present at a school fair. The trifold they make will include key details from their assigned civilization and they will be graded based on a teacher scoring rubric. We incorporate technology in a majority of our lesson plans. In some of our anticipatory sets, we played music from YouTube to get the theme of the lesson started. YouTube videos were also used to play various introductory videos, so students had a new way of learning the material at the start of the lesson. The technology we included was developmentally appropriate for students to use in a group or on their own. The technology that our unit plan lessons included was iPads to watch and create videos, engage the students in scavenger hunts, and watch PowerPoints as a different form of instruction instead of basic lecture. We also had students take virtual tours of different landmarks in a few of the civilizations. Halfway throughout our unit plan, we incorporated a field trip that was a follow-up on one of our lessons about the terracotta warriors in China. Our field trip for this lesson plan is very unique. The field trip relates exactly to the lesson on the terracotta warriors. The field trip goes hand in hand with this individual lesson because the students will be able to see the actual artifacts that were buried and later discovered with the terracotta warriors. We believe that this is very appealing to this age group because they will enjoy seeing the real artifacts and findings that were discovered. The field trip we incorporated will help our learners because these students will be able to walk through an entire exhibit that is dedicated to these warriors. It is a more hands-on experience, great for visual learners. The field trip is an exciting and engaging way to end the lesson of ancient China. The experience of writing these lesson plans compared to just one individual writing plan was very different. This is because we all had to think about how our lesson plans were going to connect with others. Since we were creating an entire unit, all the lesson plans needed to flow together. We also had to think about how we wanted to create these lesson plans chronologically, which was different than any individual lesson plan that we had done before. Our group used the textbook as a resource for the foundation of this unit plan. When we needed ways to come up with the content for this unit plan, we used the textbook as one of our resources. When we needed to come up with our content analysis, the textbook helped us with ways to address all knowledges through differentiated instruction. Another resource that the textbook provided us with was the idea for a field trip. When we were stuck thinking about a fun day to add into our unit plan, the textbook gave us an idea to do a field trip based off of a specific lesson plan that was created in the unit plan. The textbook also provided us with many ways to come up with differentiation for our lessons. When we needed ways to address all the learning styles, we used the textbook as a guide so we could create an entire unit plan that addressed all students and their unique learning styles and needs. Every member in our group had no prior experience in creating a unit plan similar to this one. We each had to make sure that one another were not going to cover anyone else's content in the unit plan, so the lesson plans were not too similar. For example, when creating the introductory lesson plan, it was important that just the basics were covered in the lesson plan, so there was no overstepping of content in other lesson plans. It took some time coming up with an introduction lesson, but the final product is a great way to introduce the unit. Another challenge that we faced while starting this unit plan was our topic. We all realized at the beginning that we did not have full knowledge of ancient civilizations. Once we found resources to use, we ended up learning more content of ancient civilizations, and we were able to apply this content and create an entire unit plan for students. The most interesting and fun part about creating this unit plan was interacting with group members and learning along with each other. We all had a variety of creative ideas that supported each other. It was also very fun to learn about the learning styles of students and then seeing what different learning styles we each brought to the group. Another fun experience during the unit plan was the actual creation of the unit plan. When we first got our topic, we were nervous about how we were going to create a unit plan, but we ended up learning so much more than we expected throughout the process. The learning process was the most fun because we all learned something new, and now we can apply it to our future teaching experience. We also were very supportive during the entire time of the unit plan. If a group member needed an idea or help, other group members were there for support and help. I think the positive collaboration was the most enjoyable part of this unit plan experience, and it helped get the unit plan accomplished while also having fun and learning new things. In conclusion, one thing we need to consider when working in a school and collaborating with other colleagues is the different paces people work at. It is important to work with others who are actively participating and contribute to the project equally. We each took responsibility for our part of the lesson plan, and that is something you need to remember when working with any colleagues in the future. Individually, you need to hold your own weight in this type of collaboration because your actions will affect the others in your group. Planning this unit plan with 5 to 6 other people worked very well. We all learned to respect each other's learning styles and also took suggestions from other group members throughout the process. I think this is one of the biggest keys to working collaboratively because working in groups is only effective when each member has respect for each other, their learning styles, and their opinions. This collaborative unit plan was a tremendous learning process. We all learned new content and how to apply it to our future teaching. Working on this unit plan was very enjoyable for all of us, and we hopefully will be able to use what we learned in our future classrooms.